And on this episode of Painfully Obvious to Me, we have this from /film. Why Star Wars actress Daisy Ridley is nervous about returning as Rey. And to me, it's quite a simple answer. Daisy Ridley is nervous about returning as Rey because she was in 3 horrible movies, and she was the main lead of it. Each one of those movies were terrible in their own right, and afterwards, Daisy Ridley has gotten zero work. Zero work that anyone cares about. Straight to streaming bullshit, and a video game where, at the end of it, you realize the main character is having sex with his sister. That was the plot of this game. So yeah, if I'm Daisy Ridley, and Disney is the only place that's paying the bills these days and keeping the lights on, I would be nervous as hell if I was her. Cause this is it. This is it for you, Daisy Ridley. If you don't pop out not 1, not 2, but 3 winners, you're done. You're done. You're washed up. No one wants you. How do you go from being the main star of 3 Star Wars movies, and then afterwards, nothing? That's just, again, like the Brie Larson effect. Win an Oscar, do a $1 billion movie in Captain Marvel, and then you're reserved to the side character in everything you're in. And that's it. Daisy Ridley, the exact same blueprint. 3 movies, 3 Star Wars movies, backed by Disney. All theater releases. Shit ton of money spent on the marketing. They all sucked. They all absolutely sucked. And now you're going to make 3 more Rey movies when the fandom is at its absolute lowest point right now, where they're scraping at the bottom of the barrel to desperately find anyone to care about this franchise. You're going to make 3 Rey movies? The article starts off with, the future of Star Wars is still a little murky. No, it's not. You're staring into black water. You can't see the bottom. There is nothing down there but pain and disappointment. The untitled Rey movie is about her training a new generation of Jedi. And what I've read from some rumored plot leaks, there is going to be a brother and sister, but the problem is, the sister is so much more powerful than the brother. So once again, we are going to have a female team-up like Madam Web, like the Marvels, but with Star Wars. And if history has shown us anything, like Ghostbusters 2016 and Ocean's 8, it's not going to work out. Because Hollywood at this point simply cannot write women. They are terrible at it. How do they keep getting worse and worse as time goes on? But who, may you ask, is going to direct these movies, potentially all 3 of these movies? The woman that did Ms. Marvel. The flop Disney Plus show. The lowest watched Disney Plus show. This is who you get to do 3 Star Wars movies. So again, here the pieces are set up perfectly. All the pillars are there. All the dominoes are ready to go. So then you have Daisy Ridley, who has gotten 0 significant work since The Rise of Skywalker, who has been doing absolutely nothing theater-related since. Now you have the director from Ms. Marvel, the lowest watched Disney Plus show that everyone hated, and they're going to be paired up to do a Rey trilogy. Fuck me, what is going on in Hollywood these days? It's like they're almost allergic to money. Daisy Ridley had this to say, also, I am so excited to be part of it, though I thought, what if I can't remember how to play her? This isn't dead air, people. This is my brain trying to come up with a response to that. What if I can't remember how to play her? There was nothing about Rey's character that stood out. It wasn't like, oh, Morgan Freeman from the Shawshank Redemption, a man that is just stuck in prison and thinks he's going to be there for the rest of his life with no chance of ever getting out, so he just doesn't mentally give a fuck anymore. Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine, was one of the most boringest, blandest pieces of wood out there. Any woman in Hollywood could jump into the Rey Skywalker role right now and could possibly do a better, if not the same job as Daisy Ridley did. What if I can't remember how to play her? Fuck me. Again, hiring this woman again. Who would have guessed? She goes on to say, because it was also a surprise. Yeah, it was a surprise to everyone. That you made The Rise of Skywalker. What a garbage movie in every possible way. And then they're like, hey, you know what? We absolutely embarrassed ourselves. We look like fools. Everyone hated our movie. Let's make more of them. Amazing. Disney, again, bottom of the barrel, failing upwards. In truth, Ridley seemed to have a fair amount of confidence in her abilities as a performer. Why? Why would you think that? So realistically, what are the expectations for this movie? As long as it's not putrid garbage, then it's a win. If it makes $1 in the box office, it's an absolute win by Disney right now. But who knows how big that marketing budget's going to be? How much is the production budget going to be? They are spending a godforsaken amount on these marketing budgets these days. Most of Disney marketing budgets are well over $100 million. I think The Little Mermaid was $140. That's why it lost so much money after it came out in theaters and was on Disney Plus really, really quickly. So now we have Star Wars again. That's going to spend a shit ton of money on CGI. They're going to spend a hell of a lot of money in general on the marketing. So what are they expecting to make back? If they could break even, if they can absolutely break even after theater cost budgets and marketing and all that stuff, though, that would be an absolute win for Disney. And will I think they can get there? No, I don't think that for a second. The fandom is gone entirely. There's nothing that Disney Star Wars can do to win people over. They can make the greatest Rey movie of all time. People aren't going to see it in theaters. They have shot themselves in the foot for the past few years and killed their fan base along every franchise. So in the end, I don't think it matters. This movie's dead in the water. They should just cut it right now because they know it's not going to make money. Or worse, they're so delusional. Does Kathleen Kennedy really think that Disney's making money these days? Does she really think that Star Wars is making money? Does she think that people like her product? I think that's a much bigger question to ask these days. Does Kathleen Kennedy realistically think that people care about Star Wars these days? Does she think that she's really bringing in the new generation of fandom to the universe of Star Wars? Does she think that we're going to have 1 million little girls dressing up like Revas and Reys and Ahsokas and Hellas and shit like that? Does she really think that? I gotta say yes. I think that Kathleen Kennedy thinks that this movie is gonna crush every record out there. It's gonna be the absolute greatest movie of all time, and everyone's gonna love it. And in the end, we all know, and you don't have to look through a crystal ball. It's so weird, though. Every time I predict that a movie's going to be bad, the shills online are like, oh, were you at the production meetings? Did you have a crystal ball? No, I'm just watching the landscape and seeing these products and seeing how terrible they are and not seeing them course correct. It's really not that difficult these days to sniff out a flop. And this one, all three of these movies are going to flop. I'm not expecting we're going to see the greatest performance out of Daisy Ridley. And you know what? A part of me wants them to get it right. A part of me wants them to actually sit down and say, okay, we are going to make the greatest Star Wars movie of all time. We're going to lock the door and not a single person is going to leave until we craft the greatest script of all time. And that's what they should do. They should go into this thinking, we need something great. And like I said, a part of me wants it to be great because I've been a Star Wars fan my entire life. I've absolutely loved this franchise, and sometimes I get roped into a couple of episodes of The Mandalorian where it's like, wow, this is Star Wars. This is everything I could have hoped and dreamed for. And then we got Lizzo and Jack Black. It's like, the fuck's going on here? You guys phoned it in as soon as Season 1 ended. So that's what I gotta say about that. The Rey trilogy, gonna flop. We all know it. But what do you guys think about that? Is there a hope? Is there a single bit of light in this darkness that is Star Wars these days that could potentially turn to something great? I don't know, man. What do you think about that?